Hello, my name's Claire Muller and I'm in Australia here with my father, Brian Butler, and we're here to talk about kinesiology today. As it's ASK's 30th birthday in the UK, I'm sure everyone there would really enjoy hearing from the founder. So off we go with my first question. And my first question is, when did you first become involved with kinesiology?
Well, it was back in 1973. I was asked by my boss to take an American honoured guest to see some of the sights of London. At that time, I didn't know his name was John Blossom or that he was a chiropractor. But during our journey into London and back home again, he first explained the principles of chiropractic to me. Then he told me that there was an exciting new development based on the research of Dr. George Goodhart, and it was called applied kinesiology. On the way back to his hotel, I asked if he would like to come to my house to have tea. And when he arrived, my elder daughter was writhing in pain on the lounge floor. She was having a bout of colic, which she had suffered from intermittently for years. Dr. Blossom asked us if he could help her, and we said we'd love you to do that. But over the years, she's seen lots of doctors, given lots of medicines, and never got better at all. Dr. Blossom went over to Louise and gently placed his fingers of both hands on either side of the parting in her hair. He gently pressed and released the sagittal suture a few times. Louise stopped crying within a minute. She did not get another bout for over a year. I then replicated what Dr. Blossom had done, and the result was the same. Instant relief. She never had the problem again. The next year, in 1974, Dr. Blossom returned to England, bringing with him the Touch for Health book by Dr. John Thee, DC. In 1975, I found myself out of a job. I rang Dr. Blossom in Ohio, and he said, come on over to America, take some classes, and take kinesiology back to England. The rest is history.
It is, I remember that so well, I really do. So with all the wonderful things within kinesiology, what's your favourite aspect of kinesiology?
Well, I guess it's the unique approach that we have to health and well-being. No other modality does that. No other modality at all addresses the whole person. All divide the person up into chunks and deal with them separately. But when any one of its parts is compromised, it affects all the others. One reason why orthodox and complementary medicine achieve limited well-being is because of this. So this is why the simplicity of applied kinesiology holistic approach that addresses the four aspects of the human condition simultaneously is so powerful for me. And we all know this chart, and how does that go on the screen there? Good, okay. So you've all seen this, and that chart really says it all on one sheet of paper. That we deal with the mental, spiritual, the chemical, the physical, and the energetic simultaneously. Well, the second most important aspect to me is its preventive power. Regular balancing, even when somebody's not troubled by symptoms, will enable that person to attain and maintain better health. The third most important factor in the proper practice and use of kinesiology is the approach of avoiding the doctor approach, of putting people on this and taking people off that and being in firm control of the patient. We do not want to control the patient. What we do is, as our control diminishes, it empowers the client to have greater control of themselves and of their health. Our culture, from cradle to grave, teaches people to hand control of their health to the experts. In kinesiology, we do not have patients, which means suffer, we have clients, which means listen. An effective kinesiologist encourages the client to take more control of their own health by giving them effective tools to help themselves in the realms of developing a more healthy, positive mindset, an awareness of the need to eat a healthy diet, and to get a moderate amount of exercise on a regular basis, and also to be aware of energy drains, like mobile phones, for instance. Also to offer regular preventive care treatments which balance and strengthen the whole person.
Lovely. So what impact has kinesiology had on your life?
Well, when I first learned the basics of applied kinesiology with the Touch for Health model, it completely changed my concept of health. And I began to realize just how much control we could have over our own well-being. I also embraced kinesiology as a wonderful way to show real warmth and love to others in a very practical and helpful way, but of course only when they were open to the concept and the use of it in their own lives. The world was full of hate then, and even more so in our present era. As we entered the 21st century, the tumult, the conflict, the chaos all over the world has exploded in more ways than one. Strife, wars, and intolerance between religious groups who all claim to worship a God of love is bewildering to observe. Something ain't right. So, to have the practical use of kinesiology as a form of love amongst each other is very inspiring for me personally. Human beings have an inbuilt desire to learn and grow, to improve their human relationships, and appreciate the presence in their lives of a higher power, whatever that might be. Kinesiology embodies and gives us knowledge of wonderful truths. The amazing functions of the body are the evidence that an intelligent power is at work in our bodies, which also enhances our appreciation of that power. My daughter Claire, bless her, took over the running of the Academy of Systematic Kinesiology in 2000, so the work I began in 1975 is being continued. And it is in good hands, in that TASK refuses to teach kick or complicated kinesiology and still teaches KISS, keep it simple sweetheart, kinesiology training to many others in the basics and practitioners to use the advanced aspects of kinesiology as they were intended.
Yeah, thank you. Can you now tell us one of your memorable moments within kinesiology?
Absolutely amazing. Many years ago, one Sunday, a young woman lurched into the hall where Stephanie and I had a stand to promote kinesiology. Her very strange gait puzzled me. I asked her about it and she told me that she'd been born with spina bifida and had never been able to walk normally. I noticed that she was dragging her right leg forward by swinging her pelvis and her hip, and I asked her if she would like me to help her, and she agreed. So using Stephanie as a surrogate, with this young girl sitting in a chair at the head of the table, I checked her quadriceps. The left one tested strong. The right one was not only weak, but she, even via the surrogate, was not able to hold the test's starting position without help. I offered her a vitamin B complex tablet to hold in her mouth, and I started to explain to her what I was doing and that it would be good for her if she could think about the right leg working better. I then proceeded to work on the neurolymphatic points, both front and back, while she sucked on the tablet. So there I was using the MCPE approach. Think about it positively, bit of nutrition, bit of neurolymphatic, bit of neurovascular, all engaging all the functions. After 2 or 3 minutes, I retested the right quadricep and it tested strong. I asked the young lady to stand up and walk a few steps for me. Her gait was improved to an amazing extent, and she was flabbergasted. Just balancing one muscle produced an incredible change in her ability to walk. And if I've taught that to people, I've taught that to thousands of people, but you know, nobody believes that.
Bit too good to be true.
Well, right.
For some people.
That's right. But I wish a few more people would just take that approach, you know, look, find out what the most important muscle is and fix it. Yeah. And we've got priority, as it is, to help us to do that. Anyway, so I asked her if she'd let me do a little more work, and she said yes. I gave her 14 muscle balance, and she got off the table and walked almost normally. I wish I could demonstrate this to you because it was so amazing. She said, I've never been able to walk like that in my entire life.
Wow.
Will it last till I get home and show my husband? She said.
Oh, that was wonderful. So, what brought you to, form the Association for Systematic Kinesiology?
Well, it became clear after a while that there was a need. The association was formed as a registered charity with great difficulty and expense. The rules were very strict about charities then. And ours was formed in 1985 with three main aims. Number one, to bring applied kinesiology to the attention of the public. Not only just as a system, but how powerful it could be to help people and promote its value in helping people and promoting health and well-being. The members helped. The members of ASK in those days helped in the production, I expect they still do, in the production of applied kinesiology literature and the manning of exhibition stands. So that gave us a bit more beef, because there was only two of us at the time. Secondly, as an independent body, it was designed to monitor and ensure a very high standard in the training of others as more became qualified to teach AK and to keep it pure, and already some people had introduced techniques and concepts that were not authentic. Sadly, this was not an unqualified success and was to the detriment of AK. Schools have been started by individuals who have not maintained the original standards set by us, which is why I'm so happy that you've kept the flag flying high. Number three was to provide a structured professional association for practitioners, to inculcate professional standards and to be a support for any who might need it. We were able to establish ASK as a professional body which could provide expert witnesses in court proceedings, which proved to be very important in a number of cases.
Fabulous. So with everything, where would you like to see kinesiology go in the future?
I wish I was a prophet. I'd like to see the world completely change its attitude to health. Because unless or until that happens, it's not going to happen. The spiralling costs and crushing burden of healthcare, which should be called disease care, cannot be sustained. All the healthcare systems around the civilized countries in the world are going broke. Because people are not taught from childhood to attain and maintain health, they systematically destroy, which starts out as a perfectly healthy, beautiful baby, but over several decades changes into a person who is obese, diseased, and has grossly distorted structure. Used to be a song, oh, you used to be a beautiful baby, but baby, just look at you now, which is tragic, really. All the modern diseases of heart disease, stroke, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, diabetes, obesity, dementia are all the result of toxic thinking and inappropriate dietary habits, which all lead to inflammation. This does not need to be the norm, but unless or until health and well-being practices are inculcated from the earliest time in life, they will continue to be and get worse. So the more we can promote the principles and practice of applied kinesiology, the more healthy people there will be. This is still a dream of mine, but with the tendency of people to fail to take responsibility for their own health and the power of schooling, social media, television advertising and so on, the outlook does indeed look bleak. You, though, who are practitioners, have the opportunity to be lighthouses, beacons in this world, showing people a better way. We have the tools and the technology to help. That should provoke us all to greater efforts to educate as many people as we can come into contact with. To extol the value and the benefits that AK can bring to people and their families. People of vision, that's you. People of vision can and do have an enormous effect on the world, and we are some of them.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for sharing those things with us today. And I'd also like to thank you on behalf of everyone in the UK for pioneering, well, learning first, then pioneering kinesiology in this country to benefit all our own health and to help other people with theirs. So thank you for that.
Thank you for that.